Welcome to Podcast Fandom Premium. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Donald.
And I'm John.
And we are back. Yay! It's been a minute since John's been here. Like a couple of weeks, right? Moon Knight.
Sometime.
Yeah, Moon Knight was like...
Yeah, Moon Knight. And we did not go back to DMZ. And let me tell you why. Because John told me I didn't have to.
Yeah, I watched the episodes, and they're fine.
Okay, see? And I just want to say, he wasn't being a hater. Like, he legit watched them and was like, you know, we could not. And I was like, I trust you. I do plan on, like, should I finish it? Even without recording it?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, they finished the story.
Okay. All right. There we go.
I mean, and it's it's satisfying. It ends in a satisfying way.
All right, we'll see. There's this, it's rare, but occasionally through the week, I find myself with like time to I want to watch TV. I feel like watching TV, and I can't watch anything like the next episode and all the stuff that I'm watching because it's podcast, for podcast reasons. So there are times when I just want something to watch that I don't have to podcast. I can put on and whatever. So I need to finish that. And there's one other thing. Titans. We need to decide if we're going to go back to that.
Right, because they're like this third season, they're filming that
Fourth
now.
Season. Yeah.
Fourth season.
And they've cast like all kinds of interesting characters.
Because it's going to be focused on Superboy. So it's going to be in Metropolis.
Metropolis? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Metropolis.
Okay. So yeah, we need to discuss that. But I'm super tired because I recorded The Staircase just a little while ago. I finished a bit ago with Sarah and Ellen. And it is approaching my bedtime. As a matter of fact, I'm about to take my melatonin while we're talking about this. And I have a small dinner coming because I didn't eat. Excuse me, guys. I'm away from the mic, which is why I sound weird. Found my melatonin. So we're not really shooting the shit, as you can tell. We're going to get into this. But I do want to point out that this is the first episode of the season, which means that I will put this episode up on the free feed as well. And just a heads up that I have my friend Kevin, our friend, looking at the website back end for me to help me because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, y'all. It's too much. I don't have the mental capacity, bandwidth, whatever, to deal with it. So he's going to take a look at that. And going forward, you'll be able to find the schedule there and know when you guys are getting, like if you're not signed up for premium, know when you're getting a free look at something that's going to be premium and all of that. So next week, when we meet up to talk about episode 3, we'll shoot the shit and catch up and talk about stuff and things because there's a whole lot of stuff and things to talk about. But tonight I'm super, super tired.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things. Mm-hmm. And things and stuff. Oh my god, like what next week when we shoot the shit, like oh my god, I feel like first of all, we just need to do a shoot the shit episode.
Okay. Because
there are so many things I want to talk about and I don't want to forget this, so I'm actually writing it here down so I don't forget. We need to talk about all this drama with The Walking Dead.
What drama?
I don't know what you're talking about either.
Really? Okay,
I know
of all,
the spinoff, I know that she's not doing it anymore.
Right.
And is that the drama you're talking about?
She.
Yeah. And the fans, for whatever reason, because first of all, I don't know if you guys know this, people suck. And fans are people. And fandoms are made up of fans, which are people. So fandoms can really fucking suck. And oh my god, have fandoms been showing their asses these past couple of weeks? I don't know what the fuck Johnny Depp ever did to deserve this kind of fanatical devotion, but holy shit, the behavior I have seen over this fucking trial. We gotta talk about that next week. We gotta talk about The hell you laughing
I
at?
have no desire to talk about that, honestly, but you can.
I don't want to talk about the trial, but I do think it's really fucking interesting how people are taking a fucking case about domestic violence and turning it into like the Jersey Shore. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, that we talked about one of them. I unsubscribed, by the way. I think it's Screen Rant. But anyway, one of those sites that they usually do stuff like, here are 29 Easter eggs you may have missed in Moon Knight this week. One of those sites are doing things like that about the trial. It's insane. Absolutely insane. But anyway, apparently, what's Daryl's name? Norman Reedus. Mm-hmm. Apparently his fans, I guess, have decided that it's her fault. Like, the fact that she's not doing the show, like, maybe it's not going to happen or something. I don't know. It was terrible. To the point where even Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's still on that show for some reason, came out and said stuff about how toxic and horrible the fandom can be. But, like, we knew that.
Yeah, what I saw was... I know we're getting into it, but what I saw was that she couldn't do the show because they had to relocate shooting.
Yeah, they wanted to do it in London.
Yeah, and
right?
So she can't do it anymore, and so she had dropped out, and then some people were, like, upset at her for dropping out and upset at him because they felt like it was his fault that she dropped out.
He moved it, yes.
And so it was
because
like...
isn't his wife or girlfriend, Diane Kruger, I think she lives in, like, they're primarily based in London. Or in Europe somewhere. Yeah.
Probably something like that, yeah. But it's just weird. It's just like, because she was like, I can't do it this season, but I might be able to do it next season. And it's like, all right. Like,
reasonable.
That makes sense. It's like, I don't know why everybody's upset. That show's been going for like 10 fucking years.
I was just going to say, I feel like those checks must be amazing. Like, but you know what? I get it, because it's uncertain times. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you have a gig and they want to keep giving you this gig and you're making good money, clearly, fuck it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I understand them doing it. I just don't know why the fans are still so into it. Like, this into it.
Like, I don't know why people keep showing up.
I mean, like, to continue watching it, sure. But, like, to get this into it?
Yeah.
So we're, like, you're, like, harassing people over it? It's just, like, chill out. Number one, it's just a TV show. And number two, this isn't that serious.
No, it really isn't. But, like, that's what I mean. Like, to get so invested in, like, to care that much. Mm-hmm. Like, that it feels like it emotionally hurts you that these things are happening to celebrities you don't know. It's just crazy to me. And it's been a lot of it this week. But anyway, the most toxic fandom thing I can think of for Obi-Wan is the fact that already, just 2 episodes in, the white boys hate Reva irrationally so. Like, right. I understand you're not supposed to like the character, but, like, they're almost offended by how much they don't like her. Does that make, you know what I mean? Like, she's so infuriating. She's a fucking Inquisitor who's working for the dark side. What's wrong?
Or whatever. Yeah.
I think they're mad because they like her. That's what
really?
I think. Yeah, because she's a great character.
Yeah.
Like, she's a character, like, she is, you know, Darth Vader. She's Kylo Ren. Like, she is that, you know, character so far in this show. Mm-hmm. And she's doing a good job at it. Mm-hmm. I think they're just mad that they like it.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, she's mean. It's like, yeah, she's supposed to be.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, it's like, they get upset, like, when she wasn't listening to the Grand Inquisitor. It is like, why are you on his side? Is it because she's a black woman, so you're automatically, like, taking the side of whoever she has beef with? Like, what is wrong with you? But and honestly, I actually took, like, screenshots of some of the comments that I saw, because I feel like sometimes maybe people may think, like, I'm exaggerating. Like, I'm not kidding. Their exact words are, this was really good, except Reva, she's so infuriating, I don't know why.
Yeah, well, you need to investigate that for yourself.
Yeah, you need some fucking self-reflection because I think I know why.
Go to therapy or something. I don't
know. And it's just so interesting, again, because I know she's not a character we're supposed to like. Like, you're not supposed to be rooting for her.
But I am,
unless you're rooting for Vader, right? Like, unless you're just like, yeah, take him to Vader because you want the confrontation. But beyond that, I can't imagine why people... Well, I can't imagine. But they're so, like, offended by her.
That's the thing is, like, I do feel like because of the position that she was put in on the show, like, I did find myself rooting for her against the Grand Inquisitor.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Like, I was like, yeah, I want to see her do what she wants to do.
Right.
Because that's much more interesting than the Grand Inquisitor being like, let's just go after these random guys. Right. No, go after Obi-Wan. Right. That's so much more interesting.
But, like, you're not sitting here like, I hate her.
No, I like her. I think, hold on, let me see. I think she's the best character so far. I don't know. I think
little Leia is adorable.
Yeah. So
they nailed that, huh? That little girl.
They do great with little characters.
You know what's little characters? Her, Grogu, all of them.
The Ewoks? What are you talking about? The droids?
That's the only reason I didn't like Boba Fett. There was no little characters until Baby Yoda showed up.
Oh, okay, like Grogu. I could not figure out what he meant, like little. You could have just said, like, children.
Like R2-D2, BB-8,
right? I was literally thinking low to the ground characters.
The thing is, the actress playing Leia, it's so interesting to me because, Leia's 10 on the show. Mm-hmm. The actress is 9.
Wow.
That's so weird to me because, like, usually, it's older kids playing younger kids.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they have to be mature or whatever and be able to remember lines and shit. But, like, she's just, like, playing an older kid. And even in the show, she's playing a character who is seen as beyond her years or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, Obi-Wan even says it.
That's so interesting to me because one, like, it's weird because, you guys know I have kids and one of my kids is 13, but, like...
You have kids?
Yeah. 2. Sorry.
Where are they at?
I don't know. But, like, people seem to be surprised that she's, like, they're like, she's 10, like, the character. She's 10, she's so tiny. And then you tell me she's 9. I'm like, well, that probably explains some of it.
A little bit, right?
Yeah. So, we're going to be talking about the first 2 episodes. Let's see. Hold on. I want to make sure that they didn't have titles. Yeah, it's just part 1 and part 2. It is a 6 episode, so as far as I know, limited series. They're calling it, I'm looking right here at one of the posters. They're saying limited series. Just 6 episodes. Let's give our overall thoughts before we dive into the details of what happened. I do want to say this because it popped into my head and I don't think I have it in my notes anywhere, so I don't want to forget. I was getting so many Mando vibes in the first 2 episodes, right? They're the same, I think. I'm sorry, I was talking to Kaylee about her food just got here. They're not the same, the shows. But I just meant I was getting vibes in Mandalorian vibes with him just having to protect this young child, this little character.
It's the little character.
The little character.
It's Lone Wolf and Cub, right? I mean,
yes.
And then that's even like, I was so like the second episode when he writes her out, I was like, oh yeah, this is like when Mando broke out Grogu.
And then when she was like, when she puts out the bounty to all the bounty hunters, she's like, I don't want them to catch him, I want them to squeeze him. I was like, they did this to Mando. Remember? They turned all the bounty hunters against him after he had the baby to flesh him out.
Yeah, I like that. That's such a Star Wars thing, like to repeat stories. I mean, and it can be like, oh, they just have a formula, but like, no, like it honestly, it feels, I don't know, it feels fresh when they do it every time.
Yeah. Donnie, what did you think? You've been quiet.
I really liked it. I think I might like this more than I like The Mandalorian. Mainly
Do you
because
think
it's
it's
probably
because you're so familiar with it? You were more
right.
familiar.
I think because these characters are already established. I didn't watch any trailers going into this, so I didn't know what the show was going to be about. I knew like the time frame, but I thought it was like I didn't know it was going to be like 10 years after the remake trilogy.
They threw a curveball too, like because all the trailers made it look like it was going to be about Obi-Wan and Luke.
Right, I think everybody was thrown off by the Princess Leia. Like,
okay.
People didn't know. I didn't know anything about like I know the storyline is there, but I didn't know that this was going to be like where they kill all like they're hunting the Jedis and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
I didn't know. I mean, I knew it was about that. Like, I knew this time. Like, if you're familiar with this time in the Star Wars story, you know this is where the Jedi were being hunted, but I didn't know Leia would be in it as much as she is, and I didn't do the math. Like, I wasn't thinking, but I think I figured we'd see her because I swore they had announced Jimmy Smits. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He'd given...
I was like, once they showed her, I was like, there's no way Jimmy Smits is going to still fit this role, right? Yeah. I was like, I haven't seen Jimmy Smits in years, and they can't make him still look the same age, can they?
Listen, that first scene of him talking to Leia when he's trying to convince her to go apologize to her cousin, I was looking at his face to the point where I actually tweeted, this is Jimmy Smits, right? Because it looks so weird. But then later, when he's talking to Obi-Wan in the cave, then he looks like Jimmy Smits, like he aged. You know what I mean? Like before, it looked like Jimmy Smits aged, and they did something weird to his face to make it look like he didn't age. But it's so weird that they decided later it's okay for him to look like himself. It was weird. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah, so you didn't know who was going to be in it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But you knew Hayden Christensen, right?
Yeah, I knew Hayden Christensen. I knew, obviously, Obi-Wan. But other than that, those were the only two I knew that were going to be in here. But it makes me wonder, like, okay, then now what we've seen so far, we've got to see Yoda at some point, right? Like, I feel like he's in hiding, but so was Obi-Wan. But I feel like Obi-Wan, that's kind of his mentor. But I feel like at some point I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it. It depends on... Yoda.
I think it depends on... I'm trying to remember, like, how Yoda came into play in the movie.
Yeah, he's over on Dagobah, right?
Right, because they said...
Right, but I'm like...
train with them.
But like, Obi knew exactly where he was and, like, immediately sent Luke there.
Right. To train.
Okay. Then maybe we will.
And I'm thinking, okay, we've got to see, at some point, we've got to see a 10-year-old Luke, right?
We did.
Did we? Well,
yeah, it was
like a
playing.
long... Huh?
We saw him playing in the distance.
That's right, he was playing.
Yeah.
We've seen enough Luke.
And we're gonna get Qui-Gon Jinn, too. He's going to be on here.
Are we?
Yeah. I mean, they haven't confirmed it, but I mean, you can't say his name and then not have him.
As a Force ghost?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like in the like recap or whatever, which was like the best the prequels have ever looked.
Oh my god!
I was like, these movies look awesome.
They basically showed you the whole they showed
you the best parts of all three movies and left it at that.
They're like, that's all you need to know.
But like,
I didn't see Jar Jar once.
Right. Well, they did show him, I think, in the funeral or whatever. But
did they?
I think when they had the line where he said, "Oh, I'm going to teach you how to communicate with your master or whatever," and he was talking about communicating with Qui-Gon Jinn, and it's like you can't have why do you have that in the recap if you're not going to actually show him do it?
Yeah.
So like he has to do it like episode 5 or something
to get his mojo.
I do want like this girl that you said that all the white boys hate. It feels like there's history between her and Obi-Wan.
My thought was that she's probably one of those kids that escaped at the beginning, right?
Okay.
Well,
she was a Jedi. That he said they were.
Well, the Inquisitors are Right.
Yeah.
But so
But she just has
they
a hard
all,
on for him,
I guess,
so.
technically have history with Jedis because they're all. But her specifically, when she said what I'm owed,
Yeah.
and there is one little black girl in that group of younglings in the very beginning. Well, I don't know. That was my assumption.
Yeah, so it just makes me
That's why they
get
showed
some,
us that.
like
yeah.
a flashback type scene
Yeah.
or flashback story.
Yeah. I mean, she's going to have a connection to Vader. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just everything with like and it was perfectly just how they did the first two episodes was perfect to bring them both out, and then just have him find out that Anakin was still alive was it was all really good.
What about you, John?
Oh, I fucking love this. It's so cool. Like, I really enjoy the vibe. Mostly, like the idea that Obi-Wan is just like he's like hiding, and then he's like, "Oh, I gotta come out of retirement one last time." Goes and dates up his fucking lightsaber, and he like puts it on his hip. It's just like I love that, and the idea that like he hasn't used the Force in 10 years,
Right, and then
and
he
like,
didn't even know if he could still do it.
right, and like just like the idea that you're just seeing him like get back in it. Like, I like that. I just like the overall premise of it is just nice, and look, obviously like seeing Owen and Biro again, like that was cool. And obviously, like if we do see more characters that we recognize, that it's just that's just gonna be fun.
They really.
I mean, they even snuck in a fucking clone.
Oh my god! Right?
And
Now, let me tell you,
they brought the actual actor back. I was like,
listen, I was. Okay, first of all, full disclosure, I still haven't watched Boba Fett.
It's really good. It's really good.
I'm busy.
I only liked it when it started getting into the Mandalorian stuff.
That's what I figured you were going to say. And I will check it out, especially before we get to the Mandalorian season 3, which
because you need to because it leads into Mandalorian 3.
They just announced that it's February 2023 for season 3.
Which is weird because that Andor show, which I'd never fucking heard about, comes out in August.
I don't know how you didn't hear about it. I swear we've talked about this.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It does.
I
hate is that I know that character's dead. So even like I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying?
I don't remember.
I haven't seen Boba Fett.
So when he showed up in the show,
whatever. Oh, homeboy, who plays Boba Fett? Why can't I think of his name right now?
Tamara Morrison.
Thank you. I almost said Matthew Morrison. Kaylee, your dog.
What's he doing?
So I think
you almost called him Matthew Modine.
No. Did I not finish what I was saying?
Yeah, you said it.
Oh, okay. So what was I saying? Oh, let's just talk about the episodes because I don't think I'm going to remember. But oh no, homeboy. Yes, him. So when it was on, I was not paying attention. Like I had. Okay, can you hold on a second? Give me a second.
All right. So, Donnie, you didn't like the first, 2 or 3 episodes of Boba Fett?
No. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I thought they were alright. Like, the present day stuff. I think we talked about this. The present day stuff wasn't great.
Right.
To me.
That's what it was. Like, the past stuff was alright. It just kind of, it shows you, okay, what happened, how he survived, what happened when he got out. The present day stuff it bored me until the Mandalorian stuff came into play. Then I was like, okay, this is cool.
And that was, I mean, honestly, that was like half the season.
I know.
So.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm back.
Right.
I was not really paying attention. And I'm going to leave that in because thank you guys for talking about something that was kind of just on topic, so I don't have to edit that out. What was I saying? Oh, I wasn't like looking at the screen 100%, like 100% paying attention when it happened. So I only caught like a glimpse of the helmet when he was asking for the change, and I thought it was just a stormtrooper, like a regular.
I only caught it because of the closed caption. The closed caption said "clone veteran."
Oh, like, really? But I caught him saying like he was a veteran, and then I was like, "Oh my god, that's one of the clones! Oh my god, that's him!"
He was just like just collecting money and changing.
It's like, that's a clone. Oh wait, it's him. It's like, yeah, it has to be him. He's a clone.
So, but his hair, how?
Okay, so let's talk about it. We get Order 66 again, which, like, when it started, I was like, why are we doing this? I don't want to see him kill these babies.
So,
like, I really thought they were going to show Vader walking in there killing them babies. Not
yeah,
Vader,
it was tough because I watched this, and then I also watched the first 2 episodes of Stranger Things last night, too. And with everything, the wake of everything that's happened this week, both shows had things at the beginning. This, I don't know if they had a warning, but Stranger Things, they had a warning before the episode. But yeah, both of them just, same type of thing.
Yeah, you're of course talking about this week's school shooting.
Yes.
Not to be confused with last week's
school
supermarket shooting or church shooting. Yeah, good old America. Anyway, but yeah, we see the like a classroom of younglings training, getting attacked by the clones, and getting away. It was like a group of 5 or 6 of them, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was so awesome to see a Jedi, they had two of their Jedi masters or whatever fighting. It was just cool to see Jedi just being Jedi. Because we're not going to get that a lot in this show,
right? Yeah.
So it was just, and I mean, in this time period, that just doesn't happen after the prequels and after Order 66. There just aren't a lot of Jedi until you get past the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and then things start blooming again.
Then the series jumps forward 10 years. The Inquisitors are searching for Jedi. Just any Jedi will do, but in particular, clearly Obi-Wan would be a catch, and one of the Inquisitors in particular, who they call Third Sister, and I think her name is also Reva. She is particularly fixated on bringing in Kenobi. Within moments of arriving, she cuts that woman's hand off. And it was so fucked up because, well, one, she cut that woman's hand off, but it was kind of funny.
But I love the
way she did it.
It's just that's too much.
Because when that woman was wait, what are you even doing here? This is the Outer Rim. You don't have jurisdiction. The way Third Sister leaned her head over, who said that? She had to peer her head around a whole ass person to be like, who the fuck said that?
And that's the thing, is I love this dynamic of the young hothead who doesn't follow the rules that. I mean, that's Anakin. That's Luke. It's it's
and to
everybody.
Be honest, I didn't get at first. Even when she said, when I think it's Fifth Brother who pulls her aside, and he's played by Sun Kang, who I did not recognize, obviously, in makeup and stuff. But you guys know who that is, right?
Remind me.
From the I think he's from the Fast and the Furious franchise. I think there's only one Asian man in that franchise, right?
Wait a minute. Really? That's him?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me confirm this.
Why would I lie to you?
I'm not saying that you're lying. I'm saying that I want to see. And also I want to confirm.
Han Lu, is that the character's name in Fast and Furious?
Hold on a second here.
I really hope they didn't have him playing a Japanese person. Because he's Korean.
Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, Fast and Furious. Yeah, Honolulu. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, he pulls her aside. Even when he pulls her aside and she tells him it's what I'm what I'm owed. Like, what do you hope to gain by bringing in Kenobi? What I'm owed. Like, I just took it, maybe she's one of those younglings that got away and blames him and I was not thinking brainwashed by Vader. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
I wasn't, like, for some reason, like, I knew. For one thing, I don't know why. I know it's only 6 episodes, but I also didn't expect to see him or even have, like, any mention of him in the first episode.
Yeah.
So for him to be, like, honestly, I was thinking maybe 2 or 3 episodes. I don't know. So he just wasn't on my mind. I know probably one of the few people who were watching this that wasn't focused on Vader. So when she was like, you're not going to die today. I was like, really? Why are you lying to him? And she goes, I'm just going to take you to him. And I was like, oh shit. Like, he was just not on my mind. And I mean that in a good way. Like, I was invested enough when I just thought she just has some beef with him because he, was going to train her or was supposed to, I don't know.
Or he failed, yeah.
Or something, I don't know. Because they kind of did focus on that too, but I guess, of course they had to, like in the previously on Star Wars.
That's funny because, like, there are episodes.
Yeah. But, like, the whole master, you can't have more than one apprentice or more than 2 or some shit. I don't know. Like, that whole, right? Because wasn't that the thing where before he died, Qui-Gon made him promise to train, what's his name, Anakin, even though prior to that he didn't really seem to, like, trust Anakin. Remember? I think they showed that in the prior thing, right? Where he was like, I sense a darkness in him or something. Yep. Yeah. You were right. But they became friends, and then it turns out you were right all along. Should have trusted your gut. Anyway.
You were my brother, Anakin. You were the chosen one.
So, when we get our first look at him, he's working in, okay, when I first watched this episode, I was like, in my notes as a smartass, I was like, he works in a spam factory. I did not see that fucking shark, that sand shark, that whatever the fuck that was, sand whale thing that they were working out of.
He's out here cutting meat.
He's just cutting meat,
stealing it
for his little snuffleupagus, whatever the fuck that thing is.
It's an antelope, or so. Was it like a anteater, half camel, half anteater, or something? I don't know.
But it has a name. I don't know how to say it though. What was its name? Eoti. Do you guys know how to say it? No. Jesus Christ. Well, you obviously you don't watch with the closed caption on then.
No, I almost.
Yeah, because it has a name. They have a name. Okay, so he trades with Jawa named Tika, who is selling him back his own shit parts.
The shit he stole from him.
And then he meets up with the Jedi which I didn't talk about this. The first time we saw the Inquisitor, it was the Grand Inquisitor, 5th brother, 3rd sister, and they were tracking this Jedi. They tracked him down to this saloon, and he had basically been, this is so Western, right? Like,
yeah,
traveling around, a man on the run, hired hand, helping out where he can. This is like that Zuko episode.
Yeah, Zuko alone.
Avatar, yeah. And of course, this Jedi the Grand Inquisitor was like giving this massive speech about how the Jedi can't help themselves and they hunt themselves and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And my girl was like, yap.
Let's
Throw knives.
But it works. I mean, she was absolutely right. He was right too. And that they can't help themselves, but she's like a little bit faster to get to the action.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, he's like more political about it.
Yeah.
he's trying to convince people, no, we don't want to hurt you. And she's like, I kind of want to hurt him.
Right, it's like he's trying to win votes. So this is where we get obviously our first like kind of glimpse that she is impulsive and doesn't listen, even though she does stand down here. Well, that Jedi, he gets away and he finds Obi-Wan. And he's like, I couldn't believe it when I saw you earlier. Like, I thought that was you. And he wants his help. He's like, he wants to get the band back together.
Come on, man.
You're mistaken. My name's Ben.
Right? Like, this is like, do you know what I mean, though, right? Like, this is like those scenes where it's like, you know, when the guy is like, we have to fight, and the other is like, the revolution is over. There's no more fight.
That was so, like, it was so interesting to see Obi-Wan so defeated. Like, man, the Jedi are dead. Like, we lost.
He's like, take this saber out to the middle of the desert and bury it.
And I love it because he was like, that's what I did. Oh,
so
shit.
he's spying on Luke.
Creeping on him. Some creepy shit.
It's just true. You just can't be a grown-ass man looking at kids through binoculars.
Just like out in the open, too. And he's like standing up, like, hey. It's like, what are you doing?
And let me just be clear. Like, he hasn't been using the Force because they could find him if he uses it, right? Like, they could sense him.
Yes, I think that's right. That's how I took it, and that's why he hasn't been using it at all.
Sense of disturbance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Because man, I would just be like doing whatever I want, and I would be fucking Jedi mind tricking motherfuckers. I am not the Jedi you're looking for.
like the homeboy in episode 2.
Yeah, I'd be like, I am Ben. I work in the Spam Factory.
You will give this toy to Luke.
Right?
And Owen's like, cut it out.
Right? Just work on me. So we meet Leia, and again, like you guys mentioned,
I did find it interesting that Obi-Wan was like living like down the road from where Luke was, though. I didn't know he was living on the same planet.
Oh.
Yeah,
when it started, I was like, is this Tatooine? Because, it's a big-ass desert planet, so, and I don't know that they did, like, location cards on the screen.
I don't remember seeing any.
Which is interesting, because we went to several locations, but I guess they're like, you motherfuckers know where we at.
I didn't know the city.
They were like, you nerds know this is Alderaan. You nerds know this is Tatooine.
But then, like, they went to, like, Neo Tokyo, and it was like, nobody knows where the fuck this is.
Right? So I was like, what the fuck is this? This is cool.
Oh, no, what was it? Dayu or whatever?
Yeah, Dayu, yeah.
Yeah. That's true. But, like they said, though, like, it's, like, all, like you don't get any cell service in there on that planet.
Yeah.
It's like a black hole.
This is Blade Runner. This is where we are.
Yeah. But,
but
yeah, you
Han
guys
Solo
mentioned...
there.
Huh?
They're gonna run into Han Solo there.
Decker or whatever his name is.
Wait, he'd have to be like 15 now?
I always thought he was much older than Luke.
Much older than Luke?
Like when they did the Solo movie, I'm trying to think like the time frame of that. But in Luke,
probably...
Luke in the original trilogy, I always thought Luke was like 18 or he wasn't that old.
Yeah, they were supposed to be like teenagers, right?
Right. So I always thought Han was much older than him, and even when they do the Solo movie, Han looks much younger than that. So I always thought like Han was like maybe 10 years older than him.
Oh, so that's super fucking gross, because then that means he's like 20 now, and Leia's 10, running around talking about make me float. And his mother's out here stealing ships. Like, come on. I hadn't thought about it that way. Thanks, Donnie. You just ruined it. Anyway.
yeah. There was nothing else creepy that has ever happened in Star Wars with Leia.
This was absolutely
Nothing.
the creepiest. But yeah, you guys mentioned earlier that like you didn't, or at least Donnie, I think you said that you hadn't expected to see her.
No.
And yeah, there was nothing even hinting at this in the trailers. And as a matter of fact, almost everything we've seen in these 2 episodes is from the trailers, which is exciting.
Right.
Because they're like, oh, y'all ain't ready.
Like
anything goes, you know?
Right, and they did such a great job with this character, just making her a part of her mother, but also a part of what we know Leia to become.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Bringing both of those 2 into writing it into this character, I thought she did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I just thought of it when you mentioned the scene earlier with her dad coming to the cave.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "She needs you, Obi-Wan." And I was like, "Yeah,
you're her only hope.
You're her only hope." I was hoping he would say it. I was like, "Just do it. Just have him say it.
Say it.
It'll be fine."
Yeah, it'll be like we would have accepted that fan service. Thank you very much. But yeah, I know like a lot of people were, for various reasons, obviously, like I said, because none of this was in the trailer, I'm assuming then it wasn't like common knowledge that she was going to be in this. But again, I feel like I had read that Jimmy Smits was, and again, I just, knowing the character, and I was like, oh, okay, so we'll probably get to see Leia. And even though in the trailer they show him watching Luke and you could see clearly Luke is like a young kid, my brain was not processing
that she'd be the same age.
Yeah, like a talking Leia. Like I don't know why, I just thought maybe we see like a baby or something, a little toddler Leia. I do not know why it didn't, like that's what shocked me. I wasn't surprised that she was there. I was surprised that she was there. Like she was like, an established person.
It's funny because in my head, because I'm going through it, I'm like, Obi-Wan hasn't, like, the freaking, what's the actor playing him?
Ewan
McGregor looks exactly the same. Like, that man does not age.
Does he though?
He
doesn't look bad
close.
though. No,
right.
I'm not trying to be funny. No,
but
he
then
doesn't
you
look
see
bad.
it's just funny because then you look at like clips of the original trilogy and you see Obi-Wan in those. I forgot the actor that played him, but he looks like a really old man. I was like, man, he's gonna get really old in 10 years.
Actually, I have to say, this doesn't, like, if they've done anything to him, I don't think they needed to. I don't think you need to, because Ewan McGregor, I mean, he looks, I mean, sure, I think if you did like a side by side, you'd be like, nah, it's been more than 10 years, motherfucker. But on screen, like, watching this, I feel like, yeah, okay, I buy it. This is what he looks like in 10 years. I don't know.
And that's the thing is,
but it's been 20. I mean, it's been over 20, about 20 years since they did the 3 prequels.
Right, and I mean, he pulls off looking like it's only been 10.
Right.
Right, and that's the thing is, like, Alec Guinness is the actor who played.
Yeah, thank you. I was
he played him in the original movies, but like he's supposed to go from where he is now to Alec Guinness in like 9 or 10 more years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and then like the crazy thing is, Alec Guinness was only like 62 or something in those movies. So like, and Ewan McGregor is 51 now. So like in 10 years he will be 61 in 10 years. And so that's just, it's wild just because like that's how far we've come in terms of like being able to not age.
Yeah, right.
Like being able to take care of yourself.
Skin care is on point.
Knowing how to take care of our skin and proper dentistry and like, and of course having money.
Yeah.
And access
and I mean,
to that
like,
stuff. Yeah.
Like Alec Guinness was like in the war.
Right.
So I mean, that's another thing, I guess.
Right. So Owen finds the gift that the toy that, why am I forgetting names? Obi-Wan left for Luke, and he gives it back to him and is like, we don't want your shit. So you leave him alone. He's like, look, we talked about this. The boy must be trained. It'll become a time, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like he trained his dad, and he's like, oh, burn.
Too harsh.
And it's like, but, like, at first, I was like, how dare you? I was like, that's mean. But then, I was like, wait a minute. That's his family. Like, Anakin was his family, too. Like...
Yeah. I mean, and he did. He was like, he did convince them to like, hey, let us take your kid.
Take your kid, and look what happened. Yeah. He's like, now he's out here terrorizing the galaxy.
That's so funny because like they don't know yet. Like they don't know yet that he's
right. That he's the one that's exactly.
It's so like it's so weird being like so like I don't know like saturated like within this story like for before I was even born like the whole story and it's just like everybody knows that he's Darth Vader but like now we're into we've gotten to a point where they're telling stories where like no nobody knows it
right.
we know it but like they don't know it and it's
I do have an interest so they kidnapped Princess Leia to bring out Obi-Wan, but how did they know Obi-Wan would go after Princess Leia? Do they know? Does Darth Vader know that's his daughter at this point?
What Reva says,
Reva. Go ahead.
Yeah, she says that she found a connection between Obi-Wan and Organa. Yeah, in like records or something. I don't know if
they fought in a war together.
Yeah,
they were soldiers together.
It's possible that like she got that information from like directly from Anakin. Maybe. Like if he knew that. I don't know. But I just don't trust anything.
Right. Because I feel like in the.
I mean, we know what she said. We know the reason she gave for having the information that she had. We don't know if she's telling the truth.
Right.
Because I don't know, like her,
we
don't know her
original
full connection to Anakin yet.
In the original trilogy, Vader knew he had kids, right?
Yeah. Well, he knew that she was pregnant. I think they told him the babies died.
Right. But then he knows Luke is his son, so it makes me feel like he knew his kids were still alive. Or how did he know Luke was his son?
Oh, Luke, I am your father.
I was just going to say, he does... I don't think he knows at this point in the show that we're watching.
Okay.
But I think he knows.
I wonder if he finds out.
Like, I feel like in the trilogy of movies, like, when the audience finds out, clearly we find, like, he knew then because we find out through him.
Right.
So, I don't know when exactly he finds that out. I don't know if that's something I don't remember, but I feel like he knew it. I feel like he knew it in the movies.
Right. So it makes me wonder if he finds out during this.
During this show.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that. I feel like there was like a scene with like. I mean, in the end, when it comes out, it's because Homeboy is killing Luke, right? And Vader's standing there. He has the helmet on, and you see him like watching, like looking back and forth, making life decisions. He's gonna step in and save his son. Yeah.
But you got these people like her cousin and stuff know that she's not.
That she's adopted.
She's adopted and stuff. So I feel like there's gotta be like rumors or something out there who her.
There's definitely ways that it could come out if, for instance, if I'm right in that the way the movies are presented, I think he knew those were his kids the whole time. Like, from Star Wars through... You know what I mean? Like, all three movies.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and if that's the case, if he finds out in this show, there's ways it could happen, like you said, because it could be something as simple as just mentioning the fact that he did go risk his life, coming out of hiding for this man and his adopted daughter. Like, I don't know. Like, how old is she? He could do the math and maybe. Listen, he probably know, because you don't think that he checks in on or knows what's going on with his old family. And he'd be like, what? Owen got, where'd he get that little boy from?
Why you look like me?
Right?
Wait a minute.
Right? Like,
he's got my midichlorians.
That's my midichlorian in that DNA. I feel like there's enough there. Like, I'd buy it if they said that he just fucking figured it out because of that. Like spying on Owen, who is his what, uncle, right?
Yeah, he's Anakin's. No, he's Luke's uncle, right? Yeah, Uncle Owen. Yeah, he's Luke. He's
Luke. But who was he to Anakin?
I think also uncle.
Right, that's what I mean. Uncle,
or maybe cousin. Or maybe cousin. I
don't remember, but you know, but he's family.
Yeah,
I'd buy it. I'd buy it if he said he just checked in on his uncle and saw him raising his little boy. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, this is a Fast and Furious movie. Everybody's family.
Okay.
I was just, when you said, like, it just melted my brain when you said, oh yeah, we find out from him, like, you know, about Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, like, God, how amazing must it have been to be in that audience when that movie
like in the
came
movie
out.
Theater for the first time.
Yeah, when Vader's like, no, I'm your father, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, that's like, cause like that's the like one of the biggest twists ever in any movie.
Yeah,
and like to have experienced that would have been crazy.
Especially at a time where, you know, it feels like twists are common now, but it feels like there was a time where it wasn't, like, movies weren't trying to twist anything for you.
Right.
They just like, tell it to you straight.
Like what you have, like Citizen Kane. That's it.
Yeah.
Or like Vertigo.
Right. Basically Hitchcock.
Right.
Yeah, Orson Welles, Hitchcock. You know.
Twist made a comeback with Shyamalan.
Right. Yeah. It makes sense.
And it then kind of bled, I think, into like horror with Scream. They kind of popularized that whole.
I mean, all those.
Yeah. Although we got to give credit, the original Friday the 13th, that whole movie, it was the mom.
Yeah. What about Sleepaway Camp? Can't forget that.
I don't fucking remember that.
That was a twist at the end.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember April Fool's Day?
The day? Yes.
No, it was a movie. It was a scary movie.
No.
I always remember it's
there was like that Valentine's Day movie. There was a bunch of different like horror movies in the 80s, and they all had a
around
twist.
Holidays. Yes.
They all had a twist, and it was like somebody in their main group that was the killer. And
but if I remember correctly, the box for like the VHS tape cover box for April Fool's Day was like, it was like a dinner party, and so you see the guests at the table, and the hostess is standing at the head of the table. Her back is to the camera, and like her hands behind her back, so we see what she's holding, but the guests don't. And it's like a knife or something. And I think like her long hair is like in a braid, and it's like, it looks like a noose. Maybe I'm making that up. I'm old. I sometimes don't remember things exactly the way they happen. But anyway, so we introduced to Leia. I kind of skipped over this. She is, the whole scene with her having like one of her handmaidens or something like pretend to be her reminds me so much of how Padme, remember?
Right. That's how they like the
Keira Knightley.
Right.
It was so funny seeing like this. I mean, obviously we find out it's not her, but like just seeing the juxtaposition like between, like we just saw like Luke, and now we see her, and it's like the princess and the pauper. Mm-hmm. He's like out here, moisture farming.
He's kicking rocks in the desert.
His toys are sand and rocks.
She's got fucking flying robots.
She's got people dressing her.
And a fucking ride or die little droid.
Oh, Oh man,
That's like the new Star Wars. Like I've been seeing nothing but these. I guess you can actually buy that little thing, and that's like
Lola?
the new hot toy now.
I do like how they introduce like a new droid thing with every Star Wars thing. Yeah.
I did like they showed us C-3PO.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see
at the dinner party.
We didn't see R2-D2.
Yeah, that was Anthony Daniels actually came back and played him.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. Okay, so Leia is kidnapped by Flea.
Right? That's who it is. Like, he just call himself that in Star Wars, and it would sound fine.
Yep. And Obi won't help when Organa asks for help. So Organa shows up. He's like, man, if you don't get your ass out there and get my baby. But I like his... Obi was like, why do you call this man Obi?
I mean, that's fine. Obi is fine.
It feels weird. It just feels wrong.
Obin.
Ben Obi.
No, it's already dropped. That's how people react to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Saturday. Huh?
I thought it was Sundays.
No, it's Saturdays. Sorry, Kaylee's writing me about anime. Anyway, Mr. Kenobi. Master Kenobi. He's like, my duty is here to the boy. And I was like, how do you even say that? Like, how did you say that?
With a straight face.
What did you hear yourself?
What duty? You're cutting meat.
Right? You're not doing shit.
They don't want you.
Right, that boy's doing just fine. As a matter of fact, you're putting a target on him by being so fucking close, weirdo.
Just watching him through your binoculars.
Right? Like, nobody is fucking with that little boy. But they will be if you keep sniffing around. Anyway.
I kept, like, when he was watching and then Luke disappeared, and then, Owen's looking for him, I was like, is Luke going to find Obi-Wan?
Sir, what are you doing?
He's like, I felt you out here.
Take a seat. Some lemonade and cookies. What are you doing out here?
Clever girl.
So he asked him to do this for him, one last fight, and he's compelled to, because also I skipped a part where they found that Jedi and hung him up like in the town square and shit.
Right.
They went real like, look, he was hung, and then like, no, he wasn't. Like, just like they really invoked the thought that, oh, they hung this guy in the town square, and then like, nope.
What are you talking about?
I mean, not by like the neck, like they hung him by like his arms.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But like the camera started like on his feet, and it was like, oh shit, they hung this
right?
guy.
Okay, I'm sorry. I should have been clear. Like, they strung his body up.
Right.
Yeah.
They killed him and strung his body up in the town square. And we know Reva is behind the kidnapping because, again, she says this connection between Obi-Wan and Organa. And Obi digs his saber up, and he's back in the fight, which leads us to part 2, where he's on this planet Dayu.
Well, and he had 2 lightsabers, right? He also had Anakin's. Is that right?
I thought it was just one in a gun. I thought it was one.
I don't know.
Maybe?
I know he has 2, but I don't know. I didn't think they showed us what was in the. Like, I thought I didn't remember them showing what was in it.
Yeah, they did show. It was 2 things in there.
Oh, okay.
And it might have been 2 lightsabers, like Job
Okay,
said.
then it is.
Yeah.
Then that's definitely Anakin's. Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not like as knowledgeable about this shit to be like, oh, that is clearly Anakin's. Like, I can't look at it.
I missed them showing it. I think what I thought they did was, because he had told the other Jedi, the best thing you can do is go right. So I thought they were doing the thing where they're not going to show it to us because they trust us to understand that that's what's in there, so that it's more impactful the first time we see it. Is so you don't know, like, did he rebury it, whatever. But then when he pulls his thing back and it's on his hip, so I didn't know they actually showed the inside. If you saw 2 handles, then yeah, he has Anakin's. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so he's on Dayu, and Yeah, Dave, what did you call it?
It's like Neo Tokyo. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that kind of.
It's like cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk
Yeah,
was
exactly.
exactly what I thought.
Yeah. And he sees this veteran clone, homeless, it appears, asking for money on the street, which he gives him, of course. This little girl, who it turns out is Ewan McGregor's real-life daughter, the pink-haired drug dealer.
Oh,
She gives him some drugs for free, which is always nice.
Here's their first taste is free.
Yeah.
Here you go, Dad.
Yep. And then he learns of this little kid leads him to a Jedi who can help him find the little girl that he's looking for. And it's Kumail getting all these Disney checks.
Yeah, I loved that.
I didn't know this was such a surprise to me.
Yeah. I knew he was in it, but I obviously they didn't say who he was playing.
See, I didn't even know he was in it.
Yeah, until the show came out, and then
Yeah.
Obviously.
So he's a swindler. Obi-Wan pretty quickly calls out that this guy is full of shit, and he does get him to take him to. He's like, if you're looking for something like what he because he basically called him a rat, and he was something the sewers or some shit. So he leads Obi-Wan to where they were holding or are holding Leia, but it's a trap. He walks right into it, and Flea gets to act a little bit. This was nice. I mean, he's acted before. I hope that didn't sound like I was.
Yeah, but he's not like an everyday actor.
Right.
This
But I'm
is-
just
this
meaning,
is
like,
the
I
type
feel
of
like
roles
prior
he's
to this, he didn't really do that much. Like,
No.
he was a little menacing and to her, and he chased her and stuff. But like here, I felt like, I don't know, he was across from Ewan McGregor, and he got to
Yeah.
he got to hit a Jedi. Kenobi's face when he realizes, not only is it not only did he fuck up, but an Inquisitor is involved.
Yeah.
He's like, the Inquisitor knew you would do this, and his face was like, wait, what?
I done fucked up.
He's like, wow, I really fucked up.
I loved it when he getting into this place, he goes full Taken.
Yes.
Because he's it's so cool because he's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and so we know you expect him. When you think about Obi-Wan Kenobi, you think about doing Obi-Wan Kenobi shit, being a Jedi, but obviously he's not using the Force and everything, so just kind of punching people.
Yeah. And not very well all the time like Taken would be, or you know what I mean,
Right.
he's fighting like he's rusty.
And he's fighting because that's not the Jedi way.
Yeah.
The Jedi way isn't really to fight hand to hand.
His master is the only one that could do Taken. I mean, come on.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
Liam Neeson.
So he uses the drugs that the girl slipped him to get away. He finds Leia. She's sassy though. She's like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
It's like, but do
Who
you want to
is
stay
you?
here?
Exactly.
Everything she does in this, I completely understood.
Yeah,
it was a little frustrating at first, but then it makes sense.
right.
But yeah, it was frustrating at parts that she was
And I
just
saw
kind of
people getting frustrated with, the way I come to deal with this and not let it bother me is that, I feel like when they have the character being reckless in a way that there's going to be consequences, and other times when it's just relax and let the scene play out. So I saw people getting frustrated with how many times she was saying the word Jedi out loud.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
And she's like,
but
"Make me float
because
right
she
here in the middle
kept
of the street."
doing it, because she kept doing it, and it wasn't when she was talking, people were looking and stuff like that. I felt like it felt safe to me. I felt like the direction of the scene let me know, okay, relax. This is not an issue. This isn't going to be an issue. Does that make sense? But
Yeah.
And I really do think that's a direction thing. So you can just enjoy the scene and take in her being precocious and a bit of a pain in the ass without stressing that they're gonna get caught.
Right. And that's one of the things, like, I'm glad you mentioned her saying Jedi, because, like, that's some of the shit that I love. And by the end of episode 2, like, we get more of it. Like the idea that people might overhear her say Jedi and be like, what is she saying? Like, did she say Jedi? And then, like they would carry that with them and be like, I think I heard a kid say something about Jedi.
Yeah.
And, like, I love, like, the, like, Jedi being a legend. Of that people learn about. Like, that's one of the things that was so good about the end of The Last Jedi and that scene with the broom kid. It's just like the idea that Jedi becomes this story that's, like, larger than life, that inspires people. So, like, I just love that. So, like, the idea of them potentially overhearing her say Jedi, I love it. Like, I love that. Like, the idea that these people might just hear that and go, oh, what? Like, that's cool to me. That's, like, I had no problem with that.
Yeah, there's a couple of scenes, like, they break it up a little bit, but pretty much all of her scenes with him is her just basically being sassy, her being like, you're old. When there's two things that she did that I thought were, and I'm typically really hard on kid actors, because a lot of times I think
they're bad.
For me, yeah, they're bad, and I feel like they're cast because they're super cute, and they're cute to look at, like they're cute kids, but they're not necessarily good actors.
Like that little kid on from.
Like, shots fired.
Just throwing him under the bus.
Right? I wasn't going to name not a single name, but okay.
I'm just saying,
but anyway.
Oh, yeah. Nuzak, that's
yeah, oh my God, that kid was horrible. But I thought she was really good. And there were two things that stood out. There was one when he said something like, if anybody asks, I'm your father. She was like, grandfather, maybe. And he was like, what? And she goes, nothing. That delivery from the two of them. Because the way he said what was so un-Jedi-like. It was so un-British. It was so fucking ghetto to me. It was so it was hood. He was like, what? What the fuck did you just say to me? Yes. Fuck you call me?
Especially the fact that her dad is probably... He's much older than Obi-Wan.
And then to the point where, again, I actually rewound it and, like, made Kaylee look at these two parts. And then when he was like, okay, he put, like, that green cape over her, that green like little raincoat hoodie thing, and they're walking and he's gonna pay for it. So he's telling the guy, I'll take this, whatever he got for himself.
And she started putting the gloves on.
And she started putting the gloves on, and he goes, you don't need those. And she just looked at him, and then he looks right at the guy, and he goes, and the gloves.
She was not taking them off.
No, she was putting the gloves on. He was like, Leia,
I'm a princess, I get the fuck out.
He was like, I am picking my battles, and I have lost the battle of the gloves on date.
Like,
the gloves are hers.
When I was watching this, like, not to compare her to, other child actors, but I was really reminded of, like, Haley Joel Osment. I was like, like, she seems, like, really similar. And because, like, he was really good as a child actor, too. And so, and I never, like, I know she was in Bird Box. And I never watched that.
Oh, Bird Box was good, but I don't remember her in that.
Was she because she was the little girl.
Yeah, it says her role was girl. And so I assume
the daughter. Yeah,
she was just the girl. The
girl.
Like, because I know there was a boy. It was boy and girl, right?
Yeah.
And so I guess she was just girl. So I don't know how good she was in that, but yeah, I mean, she's really good. I can see her doing a lot more things.
Yeah, she reminded me a lot of that little girl on Walking Dead.
Yeah, little Julie, little ass kicker. So when he was like, how old are you? I was like, you were there when she was born, ding dong.
Right? I was like, how old she is.
You know how old Luke is. She knows she is.
I'm pretty sure you delivered them babies. What are you talking about? So, and another thing that I thought of just when I was talking about the cape, because again, I don't think I had this in my notes. Like, I felt like that little, when he put that cape on her, and then like when she started running from him, she was so funny because, or like, yeah, and then I'm sorry, I just think it's adorable because she walks like a pregnant woman. She kind of waddles, and then she had like this big, you know, it kind of looked like a raincoat, right? But it's like a cape, like a little poncho, and it so it just like kind of like poofed out, and she kind of waddles, and she's so little. It was so cute, but the way that they had her hair and that whole thing with the hood, it reminded me of Leia in one of the more recent movies.
Yeah.
They had her. Didn't they have her in something similar? Like the little ponchos.
Maybe. Yeah.
I feel like I've seen Leia
I mean, I know, like in, like she wears like the hood. I mean, I know that's like when she sends the message to Obi-Wan.
No,
right?
I know what you mean. Yeah, not the white, but I feel like there are that we've seen Leia.
Well, she's doing her. Well, she's got the resistance and stuff. Yes.
Yes. It's like it looks like a kind of like almost a military looking kind of like poncho with that hood. It kind of just reminded me of that, and I just thought with her like talking like 10 years older than she is. Everything about it, I was like, this is a little Carrie Fisher just walking around in that poncho, just talking shit. So she eventually runs away from him when she sees that there's a bounty out for him, and then she starts to like question, like she's like, wait a minute, I just went with you. I'm on this planet. I have been kidnapped, and I don't know you.
Yeah, I mean, she like put it all together. She was like,
yeah,
wait a minute, they kidnapped me to get to you.
So right. So it sounds like they don't want me.
It was like, I can just get out of here.
Yeah, I can just go home. I'm gonna call my dad. Does anybody know the area code? Where's Dave? Where is this? How does that work?
To call a planet? I don't know.
What do you do? Like what do you?
Definitely satellite phone.
They got wires.
Anyway, yeah. So she runs from him, and he chases her. I don't understand. This little girl's stride has got to be tiny. Yet nobody can ever catch her.
She's slippery.
Okay.
I mean, the force is strong with her. What do you want?
I mean, he is old and out of practice, but still, like nobody can catch her, and she's like the tiniest little thing. But anyway, I will say, everything she did, like nothing about this, like I wasn't frustrated with her, but I did not. Why when he put his fucking hood on? He had a hood too.
So they didn't recognize him? Because it seemed like every fucking body recognized him.
Yes! Like he was
they were
the
like,
one.
Obi-Wan right there.
Right, because once she called in the thing, like we started seeing, like everybody started getting a little ping after a while. Yeah. And then it was like, oh shit. So I just like that. And I guess, again, it's like for filming purposes, like when he's running through the streets, like trying to catch her, I guess you don't want to have the hood up cinematically. You know what I mean? Like you could see more of the actor, but it just felt just silly that he was like, you know, not putting that hood up. But anyway, so she runs right into trouble. She runs up like this little girl, like next thing you know, we're on rooftops, and she's like fucking. And then Batman over here, fucking third sister, she's just chilling on rooftops, crouching. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
She's just waiting for that like, lightsaber to glow to
She's
come
like,
out.
I just wait for shit to jump off.
She's such a cool character.
Oh, they hate her, though. They hate her. The white boys hate her.
I mean, I know I shouldn't be rooting for her, but like, I'm trying to.
I mean, she's forced parkour, and how do you not root for that?
I mean, the thing is, like, maybe like we should root for her to like the same way we root for Kylo Ren. Like, hey, like come to the good side.
Like, come back.
Like you used to be a Jedi, right? Come on.
Now, what lies was Vader telling you?
He's like, she said Obi-Wan killed all them kids. And I was like, I can't deal with that. And then Obi-Wan's like, no, wait a minute.
So once they're up on the rooftop, there's like a shootout with like an alligator dinosaur thing. I don't know. And then this little girl is not listening and keeps running and tries to make this jump. She's a brave little shit, I tell you that.
That was so funny.
I would much rather be kidnapped than fall off a roof.
She was like, it was so funny because the way they shot it, and she was like, I might can make this. I could totally, it's real close. I could maybe. She didn't even make it halfway.
Nope, not even half.
Little Leia, little badass. So and he's like, Leia, hold on. No shit, dude. He's like, don't let go. Hold on. And she starts to fall, and he uses the Force to catch her. And it just so happens, I totally forgot his name, but Kumail, the fake Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they got
what's his fucking name? Haja.
Because they got the alert.
Yeah, the little kid's like, ooh, look at all this money we can get.
He was like, no, we had him and we lost him. And he was like, how embarrassing. So he witnesses this, right? And this is important because later he is how they get away. Like he tells them where there's another ship dock that's going to be a transport ship that they can that they need to be on, and he tells them where to go and that he's going to buy him some time. And,
I like that. I'm glad that he didn't.
Yeah, me too.
Wasn't a complete asshole.
Yeah, it was like the thing is, like he was actually helping people, just also taking their money.
Right. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good.
I mean, you gotta eat.
Yeah.
Everybody got bills.
That's the thing, is like, that's the kind of shit that I love, like, and like the depth of this universe that we're aware of, even. Like, the fact that you can have a character who's like, man, I didn't know it was you. I didn't know it was fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
Like, that's just so cool.
It's like, shit, nigga, why'd you just say so?
Right. It's just like, I love the fact that you can have, like, people who are just like I heard about Obi-Wan Kenobi and, like, how legendary he was and all that, like, that shit. I thought you were fucking dead. Like, it's just cool. It just feels cool.
When Reva does encounter him, though, she just, like, basically goes inside his mind to find out where he sent Obi-Wan. He's like, I'm the only Jedi here. He was acting his little ass off. She was so offended. She's like, you're no Jedi. Shut up. Stop playing in my face.
She threw him against that wall and pissed his pants.
So she has him cornered at the dock, and he sends Leia ahead to, like, get shit ready. Like, if I'm not here, you just get your ass on that thing and bounce, right? And that's when she starts talking her shit. And she reveals that Anakin is still alive. He is Lord Vader.
And he immediately goes into PTSD mode.
He was like, God damn it, I should have stayed my ass at the Spam Factory.
Get too old for this shit.
I know. It's like my knees are bad. And then fucking the Grand Inquisitor. Oh, and also there's some Star Wars nerds that are super, super upset because I guess this character is in Rebels.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead. That's the thing. Is like, I think people are upset for, like, nothing.
But other people were like, he looks a little different. So they were wondering, is it like just like a role? Like, could there be another? Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. I mean,
but what's interesting to me, if he's not dead, I just thought she was going to blame it on Kenobi.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just interesting to me if he's not dead, like, one, how? And two, like, what does that mean for her? Because, like, I thought, like, they're not, like, that's, like, against the rule. Like, you can't do that. Like,
yeah, you can't stab your boss, you mean? Who knew?
No, but I mean, like, even, like, you know how sometimes, like, bad guys, they have no code? Like, clearly, these bad guys
have a little bit of a code.
Well, I mean, you know, at least, like, they're following, like, some sort. Well, you know, like, the Siths have that whole rule of two thing, and Like, I think that the Inquisitors, like, Vader has, like, implement, like, they can't, there shouldn't be any infighting. So that's what I mean. Like, it's not like they're bad guys, so who cares? You know, because sometimes, like, you'll watch villains and a subordinate will kill the boss, and then now he's the boss. Everybody's like, okay, that's just how it works. So I feel like if he's not dead, that's super interesting, because then I don't know what that means for her. Because the way she was throwing around Vader and Anakin Skywalker and, like, delivering that information to Kenobi, it felt to me that she was, I don't know if the character was implying it or from what I picked up, either right or wrong, that she's closer to him.
Yeah. And, like, she was saying some shit that, like,
the Grand Inquisitor,
like, she was saying some shit that it felt like all that Anakin and Vader shit was, like, stuff that the Grand Inquisitor wouldn't have known.
Exactly. That's what it felt like to me. And so so then when she does what she does, when she kills him, I thought, oh, well, man, she must be really close to know, like, she's not going to get in trouble for that. But you're saying, you know, like, a lot of people, like I said, are super upset because it's like, and that's another thing. It's like, who is she? We just believe she killed the Grand Inquisitor just like that? Like, he went out just like that because of her?
His voice. Where did his voice come from?
That's the white boys. Fucking white boys. That's how they all sound to me.
You're not wrong. I was thinking, like, if he is dead, then like, she blames it on Kenobi. Mm-hmm. But, like, if he's not dead, then I was thinking, like, she would, like, ditch his body, but, like, she would think he's dead, but, like, he would actually not be dead.
Right.
Like,
I mean, especially if she ditches his body there, like, again, like, how do you communicate off this place? Like, he's stuck there until he can get an Uber off the planet.
Until he gets out from for Rebels.
Right, exactly.
That's what I mean. Like, if it's the same character, like, if it's not the same character, then, you know, the Grand Inquisitor is just, like, a position,
right?
Like his job role.
Because, like, I don't know enough about the Inquisitors, like, as to like why they're called what they are. Because clearly she has a name, so it's not like, and then they just call her third sister. So I don't know if she is no longer an Inquisitor. Can someone else be third sister, or is that name retired with her? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know enough about.
But the third sister put her jersey in the
put
back.
her jersey up. But you know what I mean, right? Like, I don't know enough about them to know to be able to say whether or not that's even a thing. Like, if she did kill him, it's just they're like, oh, like, is there like now a new job opening in the
right? Like the guy who's like next in line is like, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, but also don't fuck with me now.
Like, no, but we're cool, right?
Right.
I mean, the Inquisitors, they seem, because I don't know shit about them, because, like, I haven't watched Rebels, but I think, like, they seem like, you know, Jedi and Sith, like the middle in between the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Whereas, like, they're kind of Sithy, but also, like, you know, they're not trying to just kill everybody.
Right. And unless you're Reva.
Unless you're a Jedi.
Or Reva. She don't.
Right.
She wants to kill Jedi, Kenobi, anybody.
Right. Anybody gets in her way.
So
I love that she was like, who's in the gutter now?
Yeah, because listen, when he was like, you're beneath us and the stench on you, I don't give a fuck. I know we're in space and these are aliens and shit, but that felt like good old fashioned schism. I felt that shit in my bones. You hear me? I was like, he just called her a nigger. I don't care what nobody say. He called her a space nigger because that felt like racism and I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. And it was also like, it felt very, very much like the scene between Leia and her cousin.
Yes.
Where he was like, you're adopted. You know, you're not even a real Organa.
And she was like, "You're afraid of everything because you're a little bitch." No, that's not what she said, but she basically said that.
I mean, she said that like with her eyes.
Yes.
But that's the thing. It feels like that. It was like they're juxtaposing those two situations where like Reva is, an outsider, among her team or whatever.
Yeah.
Her family.
And then like all of a sudden too, like notice like when they showed up and he's like, "What the fuck have you done? Why am I on day you?" Why? He's like, "This is my day off," and I got called in. Talk about third sisters on day you. Shit jumping off. You better get over there.
He's kind of like, you would have been fired so long ago if you weren't the boss's nephew.
Right?
It's like, if you didn't know Anakin, ooh.
Oh my god. He was mad. He was like, "What are you doing here?" And then he immediately takes over. But when he was saying that shit to her, like, they showed, like, the other, like, the new, I don't know, second sister, I don't know who the fuck she is. And he was like, you're the stench or something. And they cut to her and she's like, I was like, what the fuck is this? This feels like racism and I don't like it. All of a sudden, I was like, what the fuck? I don't like this at all. But, so Obi-Wan gets away. He and Leia get on that transport ship. She starts yelling. I'm going to be honest, I didn't like this whole, "We will find you, we will destroy you." I don't know, something about it just felt real corny to me. I mean, I know, it's not even that he couldn't hear her. But it was just, I don't know, the delivery, I wasn't feeling that. It just felt corny. It was like, sis, just let him go. You lost. Take the L. Just, and then they do that really cool cut. Leia's like, "Are you okay?" You look like you're going to cry and throw up.
Yeah.
And it cuts to Vader in that tank. And like, I know it's Hayden Christensen is back, and so I'm assuming that's him like in makeup. Like, is he on a Marvel workout plan that we don't know about?
I mean,
that motherfucker is broad. Like, I thought Vader, we're supposed to think that Vader is just like, it's like the suit and the padding. But is it me? He looked like thick, like huge. He didn't look like Hayden Christensen, is what I'm saying. Like, he didn't look like how Anakin looked when he died. He
looked like swollen.
Yeah, bloated.
Well, Mary, he is in water.
He's in water. No, I'm not even. Why are you laughing? I'm serious. He did.
I didn't notice, honestly.
Really? Go back. His shoulder. She just looked broad. And
I was just like, holy shit, it's Vader.
Yeah. And we don't know like a lot about Vader like this, right? Other than I guess if you watch Rebels,
what he's been doing for these 10 years.
But like, yeah, and just in terms of that, and then just like for people who haven't seen, I started Rebels and I couldn't get into it. I've seen a bit. I've seen a lot of Clone Wars, not all of it. I just watched the episodes that were pertinent to the stories. Like, people I care about, don't come for me. But I don't know, because of I haven't watched, like, I don't know a lot about his personality as Vader outside of, the 3 movies in which I met him. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see this.
And then
because he was in, I was gonna say Rogue One, and then he's probably gonna be a big part of Andor.
Yeah.
But
and Rogue One, though, I feel like he only had like 3 or 4 scenes, though, right?
Yeah, he was just in that one, like, I guess, there were
2
probably
scenes.
2
2 or 3 scenes?
Like, the 2, like, the one where he kicks everybody's ass, and
at the
then,
end.
like, the
and when he tells the guy about his ambition.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, when they marry that up to New Hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, so from that point on, like, he was in it for like 5 minutes, I guess. So,
Rogue One is before New Hope, but how many years before New Hope?
It's like right before.
It's right, like it picks. New Hope picks up right at the end of that.
Okay.
Rogue One ends with her recording the message, right?
Yeah,
Obi-Wan. I think so.
Yeah, the Obi-Wan Kenobi or
that's right.
Hope
Okay.
message.
Yeah. God, so cool. I want to watch Rogue One now.
I know. I saw that Andor trailer and I was like, I need to watch Rogue One this weekend.
And honestly, like, Rogue One is a good movie, but like, they do get me with that ending.
Yeah, I I'm not gonna lie, it is a good movie, but like it's like I will sit through that good movie really just for that ending.
Yeah, just to be like, she's recording the fucking yeah. That's the thing from the thing I already know.
Yep.
Speaking of that, the one right before, like, I don't remember exactly the timeline, if it was before Reva showed up or after, but when Obi-Wan is talking to Leia, and he's talking about Padme. He's like, oh, my friend, and she was like, oh, where, something, I don't remember exactly, but she says, like, he says, oh, she died a long time ago. And then Leia's like, I'm sorry. And then he goes, me too. Yeah. I was like, oh. Damn.
There are people who watch Clone Wars who were thinking that he was talking about Satine. And I was trying to be nice, but I was like, y'all shut up. Don't nobody care about Satine. No. No. If it wasn't Leia, young Leia, like, nope. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to say this in a way that's not going to sound nastier than I swear I intend it to be. But, like, I think, yes, there are going to be connections, obviously, things like the veteran stormtrooper, like, that will probably hit you harder if you've seen, the veteran clone, right? Will probably hit you harder if you've seen Clone Wars and you are attached to the clones themselves, right? Like, you know, as characters. I haven't watched The Bad Batch either. I'm so behind on everything. But I think for the most part, people are looking for original trilogy connections. Does that make sense? Like, so to me, emotionally, it doesn't make sense. While I understand he could have been talking about Satine as well, because she was a leader and she died and all that, and he had great affection for her as well. Nobody gives a fuck in that moment if he's talking about Satine.
Yeah, especially
because it's important
Leia.
Because of what he's feeling and because of who he's speaking to.
Right.
So he has to be talking about Padme.
Yeah. Like, there's no question in my mind he's talking about Padme. Like, he could literally say, no, I was talking about Satine. Like, no,
liar.
I'm talking about Padme. And he's like, no, you weren't. Like,
yeah, I know that. I get you. I am absolutely
talk about Satine with Leia.
Yeah.
What does it matter?
Right, and I should, you know, I love that you say it that way. I should rephrase that. I shouldn't say nobody cares, because clearly there are fans who care. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter as much, it doesn't matter at all in this context that it would be Satine.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
if I'm in the writer's room and we're talking about this scene and somebody is like, yeah, he's talking about Satine, right? I'm stabbing him with a pencil. I'm getting fired.
If that happens, I'm like, should we say, like, have him say Padme? Like, have him literally say
right? Because if y'all are going to be weird about this, I will make him say Padme. We're not doing this.
Like, and then I'll have Leia say who, and then he'll have to say nobody, never mind. You know, it'll be a whole big thing.
Right. If you want me to do it, I'll fucking dumb it down, all right? Don't make me do it.
I will do it. You know?
If you think I need to. Because if y'all motherfuckers are going to be... If I'm going to be on the internet seeing Satine, I will do it.
Yeah.
I'd be so annoyed if I wrote an episode, you know, and something like that happens. Like, you're writing it and it's like, oh, and it's this beautiful tribute to Padme, right? And then like a year later premieres on Disney Plus. And it's like hashtag Satine is trending. You're like, why?
It's like, who the fuck? Why are we?
And it's like, wasn't it touching when Obi-Wan was saying this to Leia about Satine? I'd have all the Star Wars fans mad at me. I would totally fucking correct. You imagine? I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? That's not what I meant. I wrote this episode and that's not what he meant.
I would come out. If I were the writer who wrote that line, I would come out and say, listen, I don't usually do this, but I was talking about Padme.
Right. Because, you know, I hate when writers, too, it's like, you know, however you want to take it is fine. No.
Yeah.
Certain shit
It's
I write it for a reason.
It's like you can say that like you don't like it.
Right.
But,
That's cool.
But
You can say I prefer if he was talking about Satine. That's cool. I'd prefer if I look like Beyonce.
I'd prefer if you didn't watch my fucking show.
Right?
Like, if you're gonna come at me with that shit.
Oh my god. I'd prefer you to go write your own fucking TV show. How about that?
Yeah, why don't you write your own Star Wars?
So yeah, go watch that little ending scene again to see how fucking swole fucking Anakin is. His shoulders, hello. I'm like, what the fuck? Because it pans back, So first it's like that tight shot of his head, and as it pans out, you get more of the shoulder. I'm like, when is it stopping? When was he this broad? Jesus Christ!
He's like all shoulders. He's
just all shoulders.
He's like
a Dorito chip. He's like a triangle. He's
like Kingpin in Into the Spider-Verse. It's just a head in a square.
Exactly.
Speaking of the writing, though, and I know we mentioned the directing earlier. Let's talk a little bit about like the writers and the director. First, all of these episodes are directed by Deborah Chow.
Yes.
And that's cool. I mean, she's done a lot of great things. She did Mr. Robot. She did Mandalorian, American Gods.
I'm so glad she got the whole series.
Right.
Like all the episodes. Yeah.
It's so nice when you can have just a coherent vision. Especially it's 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Like just let her direct the 6 episodes. And then the writers, I'm not sure about like why there are different writers, but the story is by Stuart Beatty and Hossein Amini. And I thought that was interesting because those two guys, like Stuart Beatty wrote that movie Collateral. Mm-hmm. The Michael Mann movie with Tom
Cruise and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, great movie. And Hossein Amini wrote the movie Drive, the Ryan Gosling movie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also 47 Ronin, the Keanu Reeves movie.
Did he do anything I've seen? I'm kidding. Wait,
he did the Snow White and the Huntsman. Did you watch that?
I think I did. Yeah, that's Kristen Stewart, right? Kristen Stewart.
I think that was the first one. Yeah.
And
no,
Hemsworth.
Yeah. Kristen Stewart, Charlize Theron, and Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. I've seen that.
And then they did the sequel that was The Huntsman.
That's right. So Deborah Chow, it's interesting. The last thing in her credits before this is the Red Hot Chili Peppers Black Summer music video.
yeah. Interesting.
I imagine she was like, he's like, oh, so what are you working on after this? She's like, I'm sure. Really? I would kill. All right, like I'll see what I can do.
Maybe she was like, hey, you look like you would kidnap a child.
You look like a piece of shit.
And he was like, well, hey, I'm in.
He's like, I always wanted to be a Star Wars.
Can you act like you're high? Just for a scene?
He's like, I always wanted to be in Star Wars and be some sort of alien. She's like, no, we're just going to have you look the way you look.
No makeup, just your normal clothes.
All your tattoos.
Oh. You could pretend to be an alien. Like, nobody knows if you're not.
Right. You come from a planet of just white dudes with a lot of tattoos.
And just to finish up on the writing, the reason I mentioned those movies is because those movies are kind of like a lone guy, like traveling through the world by himself. Like, and it felt like, honestly, like, because then there's also Joby Harold, who I think was brought on after those other two guys had the story together, and then he wrote, like, he's writing on the Flash movie that's coming out soon.
No, it's not.
Well, you know, it's supposed to be coming out soon.
That's cute.
Well, you know, he wrote on it nonetheless.
Okay. Too bad we will never know what he wrote, but go ahead.
He also wrote, like, the Transformers movie that is coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote, like, Army of the Dead, that Zack Snyder movie that just came out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so, like, I feel like it feels like maybe, because the show, remember, there were stories about how the tone and the like the story of this show was changed because they felt it was too close to The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You remember, like, that news that came out? And I feel like maybe that's what happened was, like, those other two guys, Stuart Beatty and Jose Amini, were like, oh, we're going to write this story.
Right.
And then they wrote it, and then maybe Kathy Kennedy was like, wait a minute. Or maybe Deborah Chow.
I'm telling you, and I didn't mean it, like, in a negative way, but we have a spoiler thread for this show in our group, and as I was watching the first episode on Friday, I was commenting in the thread, and when she... like, I'd already felt it. Like I said, I felt like a few things were very similar in the story. But when she went and called in the bounty hunters, mm-hmm. and she was like, yeah, I don't want them to, I just want to squeeze them. I was like, oh my God, this is so like the first season of the Mandalorian. It's like so many story beats are exactly the same. But I didn't feel that like in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and again, maybe that's, you know, something you can kind of forgive when one, it's executed well, and two, you have all this like emotional all these emotional connections to the characters and stuff, so you don't care that you're watching these characters kind of go through something that's, you know, a bit formulaic that you've seen before, but
and it's an established trope in Star Wars.
Yeah, and so it's, you know, I don't think like in a bad way, but I could see like creatively if they're like, look, we can't be putting out season 2.5 season 2.5 of The Mandalorian.
Especially since they already kind of put out season 2.5 of The Mandalorian.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't. They're probably like, meh.
Oh, yeah, Boba Fett. And now we're going to have another, like, basically, like a Mandalorian clone. It's like, So, like, maybe they brought in Joby Harold to kind of action it up a little bit.
Right.
To, like, you know, just to kind of make it less of a, like, loner
We're
guy.
going to watch Andor and be like, God, this feels like The Mandalorian.
And is this Andor or Mandor? You know?
He's going to have to go get some kid off some planet.
Oh, that would be great.
Anyway, so that's it. We will be back next week to talk about episode 3. As far as I know, they're just doing one a week, right? Leading up to the finale. And I'm guessing all new episodes are on... Oh, well, we can't record them. Wait, are they Thursdays or Fridays?
They come out Thursday at midnight.
Okay. So maybe we'll try to record on Fridays if we can, but I have mentioned this on the last few podcasts that we've done. I didn't mention it at the beginning of this one because we were already talking about a lot of stuff, but... if you've been listening to a lot of our premium stuff, you know that anything that involves Donnie, we push to recording on the weekends because it just wasn't sustainable for us to have him record shows during the week when he works in the evening. So he had very little time from between, you know, him waking up and then actually having to leave for work, like 3 hours, and to spend, you know, upwards to an hour recording a podcast and then having to, you know, do all the other things normal people do before they leave for work just wasn't working for us. So, but with this show, that really does work because, again, it drops on Thursday. Some of our earlier in the week shows may be a little frustrating for you guys because you have to wait a little bit longer, but we have a lot of content that we record ahead of time. Plus, Kaylee and I are covering a lot of stuff that you guys have access to during the week if you're premium. If you're not yet premium, you might want to go sign up at I almost said podcastfandom.patreon. Anyway, I'm tired. Patreon.com/podcastfandom, where we're covering a lot of great anime, including Demon Slayer, the Entertainment District arc, Spy Family, and Tiger and Bunny. We're about to start... why am I drawing a blank on the anime that's after this. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting. Is it Ranking of Kings? Is that the next one we're doing? I'm talking to Kaylee and she's playing Overwatch and just completely ignoring me.
I cannot hear you.
So I see that now. Anyway, but in terms of like live action, we just finished up Halo and From, but we are obviously beginning shows like Obi-Wan Kenobi. We have Miss Marvel coming up. We Own This City. What is the K-drama we're doing? Oh, Inspector Coup. And I feel like there's one more. Oh, Shining Girls, which is really good. John, did you get Apple TV Plus yet?
No.
Oh, man. Shining Girls is good. It's good. It's good. It's good. The finale is next week. So anyway, a lot of great stuff. Head over to patreon.com/podcastfandom. Again, if you're listening to this anywhere other than Patreon, that's because it is a sneak peek. We always release, or I try to release, the first episode of our new show for free, even if it's premium. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next week.